what do you really gain or lose from that 24-hour difference? And for myself, I just ignore it. My bets were in. They're not changing. And now it's just got to play out. That's how I'm looking at it. Like I talked about yesterday, there's two-way action. The wise guys got out on Georgia. That's why the lower-ranked team was favored over arguably the highest power-ranked team. A lot of guys I respect in college football do have Notre Dame as number one. I have Ohio State personally, but they have Notre Dame, so I respect that. And yet they bet Georgia because in this matchup, they believe Georgia just has a lot more advantages in X's and O's. But as we've gotten closer to game, that's changed. Georgia went from a 2-point favorite to Notre Dame is now a 1-point favorite. Again, he reached a key number of 3, so it's not all that significant. But it does tell you that, as we talked about, the betting public didn't speak early. They spoke late, and they liked the Notre Dame side. There's no secret there because just a couple days ago, Georgia was the favorite. That has changed. As long as the game doesn't land within a point or two, the books are going to do just fine. They're going to get two-way action, and this is the kind of game you want to be a bookie, not a bettor. But if it lands anywhere from 1 point to 2, they're going to get wrecked. Because like I said, there's guys on all sides of this, just with a plus here, plus there, plus here, plus there. As long as it don't fall close, the books will do fine. That's why it's not moving much from here. Here's what I got in college basketball. I only got one bet we placed in the added board game. That's 306, 530. We bet Northern Alabama at minus 13.5 and minus 14. Here comes the regular board. 788 Washington plus 6.5. 770 Tennessee Tech minus 3. Those are the sides. Here come the totals. 727 over 138.5. Robert Morris, Detroit. 730 under 144. Texas State Marshall. 769 over 146. Southern Indiana, Tennessee Tech. 796 under 152.5. Santa Clara, San Diego. 760 under 158. South Dakota and UMKC. And finally, 742 under 151. William and Mary and Hofstra. And actually, I'm just logging in to see if anything else came in. No. Robert Morris, Detroit. I'm sorry, not Hofstra. The Robert Morris in Detroit. Did I give that out? That just came in. Oh, yeah, that came in earlier. 727 over 130. Oh, they went over 130.5. Now we're going over 139 again. So that's a bet that you're seeing. The same group hit it twice. So I gave it to you at the top. It was the second bet I gave you. I gave you Washington, Tennessee Tech as the sides. And the first total I gave you was over 138.5. Robert Morris, Detroit. Right now in the account at exactly 30 seconds ago, they bet over 139 in Robert Morris, Detroit. So they didn't adjust it enough. They're betting it again on, and also game 808 under 135, Santa Barbara, Hawaii. That should move now. These two just came in. These three actually just came in. Sorry. And Delaware Northeastern under 152.5. Here's an NHL for you. Can't believe it just came in also. Over 6.5. Sabres Avalanche. Over 6.5. Sabres Avalanche. They're willing to take it up to 120. Yeah. It's about minus 110 right now. Up to minus 120. So there you go. A lot of information, baby. Whether you follow, fade, or ignore it, I just hope you cash them, don't trash them. Start off your 2025 the right way. We got 12 months ahead of us, baby. So no reason to rush. Grind, grind, grind. That's the job. Well, if you're looking at your screen, it's about to light up because we just bet under 51.5 about a minute or two ago. So pretty soon, if you're looking at the odds screen on WagerTalk, that number 51.5 won't be there anymore. It's going to wipe out. There's going to be nothing but 50s or 49.5s because we just took out all the 51s and a halves. They were 53s a couple days ago. We took those out. Now they're taking out the 51.5s. I don't know if it's weather related. I haven't dug into it because I really don't care. To be honest with you, I didn't use this for subscribers. I simply moved it for these guys. I hope they win because I take a percentage of the accounts. But unless I have a strong opinion on it, I'm not releasing it. I told you, 2025 is a little bit different for me. So unless I really have a strong opinion, I'm not going to fire. I'm just going to share the information. So, you know, the under is the side that the winning, at least that 1% is on. And they also laid Mississippi, but they laid 14. Now, since then, it's been the public that's driven it up. The guys I know got a 14 in their pocket. I wouldn't bet it myself now, but I don't like the Duke side either. I think under's the way to play it. Under or pass.
Well, I'm looking at the WagerTalk.com live odds screen right now. I don't see minus a million, Prez. I am seeing minus 17.5, though, on Ole Miss. And the reason for the massive spread is twofold. One, Ole Miss is just simply a much better team than Duke. Okay, guys? I have the Rebels power rated as the best non-playoff team in the country. In fact, right now, there's only 3 teams I would have favored against the Rebels on a neutral field. And here in the Gator Bowl, they get to face a Duke team that really doesn't have a quarterback. Kind of a problem when you're playing football, Prez. Starter Malik Murphy, he hit the portal. So did backup Grayson Loftus. And if that's enough, leading rusher Star Thomas, he's out of Dodge as well. So you look at a big number like this, the question becomes, guys, is Ole Miss going to be sufficiently motivated to cover? Well, given the way that Lane Kiffin flapped his gums about the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. He better have his team motivated. Always going to look pretty foolish. Therefore, I think there's only one way you can play this one, and that is to lay the points. Honestly, when I was breaking this down from my power ratings perspective, I would consider laying 17.5 with Ole Miss, even if Murphy was playing with Duke. I think the gap is that big. I also did consider under a little bit. Ole Miss this really shocked me. They were 10-2 to the under in the regular season. But my concern, Prez, is the Rebels potentially running up the score here. The Lane train loves to make a point. He can be like that. Jackson Dart, quarterback, is playing. Duke under their team total is something else I considered, but it's 16.5. My thoughts are this could very much end up 38-17, the final. So again, Ole Miss minus 17.5 is how I would play the Gator Bowl. Oregon hosting Illinois. I know that home court advantage traditionally has been very strong in the Big Ten. And this season, Prez, that's probably going to get amplified because the conference has obviously expanded. We have the teams out on the West Coast. We saw during football season when these teams were traveling 2 time zones or more, they did not do well. Washington comes to mind in football. USC comes to mind. And now in college hoops, we've got that situation. Illinois going out to Eugene to take on Oregon. But I'm going to surprise some folks here a little bit. I like Illinois plus the points. Actually, this is strictly a numbers play for me. You look at the current top 25, the pollsters say Oregon's the 9th best team in the country. Illinois is number 23. I disagree with that. My own power ratings have Illinois higher than Oregon. So definitely lower on the Ducks than are the pollsters. I know their only loss was a last-second deal against UCLA. They've beaten Bama. They beat A&M. They beat San Diego State. But Illinois, per KenPom, is 12th in defensive efficiency. They hold opponents to 42% from two-point range, 26% from three. I will trust my own numbers here on this one. Take the points. I think this number is going to go up. I saw Circa was hanging a 5, so the rest of the market probably is going to follow suit. So maybe wait a little bit to get down here. As long as Illinois does not go ice cold from 3, though, Prez, I think we should be in good shape with the underdog. Give me the Fighting Illini in this one. Can see this game as an absolute mess. Now, we do have 2 Texas teams playing in the Lone Star State. Perhaps that could have them motivated. But before we get into all the absences for these 2 rosters, Prez, let me throw this at you. If I were to ask you to name the college football teams that have been favored in every game this season, I think certainly you, everyone watching, would name Ohio State, Texas, 2 teams that, of course, now will be facing off in the semifinals of the playoff next week.
Liberty.
What if I told you Texas State is also on that list? Yes, the Bobcats have been favored in all 12 games this season, including they were by a 3-point favorite against Arizona State, who we just saw in the playoff yesterday. That game was played back in September. Texas State took a ton of money. That was a weeknight game. They were winning at halftime. They played terribly in the second half and blew it. And that was kind of the way their season went, Press. Texas State 7-5 straight up. So a very disappointing regular season. 5 outright losses as a favorite for the team from San Marcos. Now, what makes this game a truly difficult handicap is all the players in the portal. North Texas is without Chandler Morris, their quarterback, their top wide receiver, Sheffield, their starting tight end, and 3 starting offensive linemen. Freshman Drew Mestamaker, he's going to be the guy starting at quarterback for the Mean Green. Only 5 career pass attempts. There's going to be some other freshmen filling the voids for head coach Eric Morris there. Then on the Texas State side, just breaking a couple days ago, quarterback Jordan McLeod, he's going to play, but it seems like it's just limited snaps. He wants to play in the East-West Shrine game. 7 other starters confirmed as being out for Texas State as well. So what in the hell do we do here? Well, the money's come in on Texas State and the under. So I'm going to play North Texas under its team total of 23.5. I know people look at the North Texas offensive stats, Prez, and they say, my God, who would want to play under a team total when a team's got these incredible offensive statistics? But again, go back to all the absences I just brought. It's not the same offense that we saw out of the team from Denton in the regular season. I think North Texas under the team total is the best course of action for the first responder bowl.
I'll build a cross-sport parlay for everybody. Number 1 in parlays, lifetime. And this is one of the really, really big keys on how we bring in profits and how we make money. So it's the World Championships of Darts. Prez, I will say we're 30-12 in the World Championships of Darts. We've had 42 plays and we've won 30 of them. So you got 2 semifinal matches today, and we're just going to parlay the 2 favorites, Luke Littler and Michael Van Gerwen. Littler is on fire. He beat his buddy Nathan Aspinall 5-2, easily leads the tournament in 180s in scoring. His opponent, Bunting's playing well, but he's had the easiest path to the semifinals. So I think Littler rolls in this one. And Michael Van Gerwen, not playing good coming into this tournament. He gets back to his world-class form. He's dialed in. And this is the one guy that Littler doesn't want to play, is Michael Van Gerwen. So he beat red-hot Callan Ridds in a great game. MVG averaged 103.1 and had 14 180s. And Dobie won his last match. Can you think of those times when you've watched a professional athlete and their body language was just awful and they looked really nervous, and even though they won, you were like, I don't trust this guy on the big stage. Well, that's Chris Dobie. He won in his last match, but his opponent choked. I didn't trust Dobie at all. His body language was awful. He almost choked away the match. So we'll take Michael Van Gerwen money line. And we got to throw in our girl, Sabalenka. She won 2-0. Prez, we talked about her yesterday. She's a walking retirement fund. I'm telling you. We just bet on Sabalenka in the first few rounds of this tournament. So this is our cross-sport parlay. We're going to parlay Littler on the money line, Michael Van Gerwen, and Sabalenka all money lines. I know you're going to support me in this one. Frank Vetrano under half a point. He plays Winnipeg. They're the best defensive team in the NHL. They're only allowing 2.4 goals per game. Last 3 home games for Winnipeg, they've allowed 2 goals total in 3 games. Vetrano only 4 games this season on the road with a point. And here's the key with this play price. He had 2 points last game. He's had 3 other games with 2+ points this season. The next game after that, all of them, no points. So he's coming off a big game against the best defensive team. This is a hammer spot. It's a 3% client play. It's only minus 125. This checks all the boxes for a really good client play.
And NBA, Kamara.
Yeah, we'll talk Tamani Kamara over 5.5 rebounds. This is just one of those under-the-radar plays that nobody's paying attention to. Gone over in 8 straight games. He's averaging 13 potential rebounds per game. Last 3 games, he's averaging 10 rebounds per game, and we get him at 5.5. He's playing the Lakers. They give up 20 rebounds. They give up 44.3 rebounds per game. That's 20th in the NBA. So this is just another one of these under-the-radar plays. Everyone's focusing on some of these bigger bowl games. We'll just keep cashing these player props in the NBA.
Xander Schauffele, golf has begun. I'm actually golfing next weekend. I'm very excited about that. I'm heading down to Boca to hang out with the old fogies in my life.
Nice.
So you got a prop bet for us on Xander?
I'm going to guess that you go over 67.5 on your round, but we'll take Xander Schauffele to go under 67.5 on round 1. And yeah, golf season has started. And in last golf season, every Thursday I came on and I was able to do some round scores. I'm going to try and make that a play every Thursday because I'm able to watch the golf in the morning, get a feel for how the course is, and give you guys some round 1 scores. So we'll try and do that every Thursday. Yeah, he's the number 1 player in this field. He shot 66 in the first round last year. This is the easiest course that they're going to play all year. The winds are pretty tame. The greens are really soft. These guys are going to shoot minus 30. The winner is going to shoot minus 30 or lower on this one. So Schauffele's a guy that we're going to play this in round 1. If it hits, we may lay off it in round 2. If it loses, we're going to go back and play it again tomorrow because this course is just absolutely super scoreable. Last 4 years in a row, this course has ranked as the easiest course on tour. Expect big-time low scores.